Hello and a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world, and welcome to today's special Heriot-Watt University Edinburgh Business School webinar. Today's session brought to you by the Human Resource Management Programme will go into more detail about the future of HRM, reskilling and upskilling for a changing landscape with Heriot-Watt specifically. Before I hand you over to Anna, a reminder that today's session is live. If you have any questions or concerns or any issues whatsoever relating to today's session, please pop it in the chat facility or please email webinars@postgradsolutions.com. If anyone has any questions on social media today or you're watching on demand, webinars@postgradsolutions.com is your one. Or if you just want to reach out to ask any other questions, it's studywithus@hw.ac.uk. But I'd like to hand you over to Anna for the time being. We are also joined by Marzena as well, who will join halfway through the presentation. Anna, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Gary. So we are here to introduce you or maybe to present another new program that may be inspiring you to do in the future or maybe now that we have already all our registration open. This is the MSc Human Resources Management. And then I'm delighted to have together with me Marzena that she will talk about more the practical element than at the same time that I'm talking about the knowledge, the theory itself. So, and then we decided to dive in terms of the future of HRM, reskilling and upskilling for a changing landscape with Heriot-Watt University. So we are here in the Edinburgh Business School, and together we make a difference if you choose us in this program. So the agenda that I will cover will be in terms of program overview to make sure that you understand what the courses that it's related in this program, in terms of structure, of course, the future that we will discuss a lot with Marzena, so she will give you the practical reality, and then what comes, and then what happens in our market and career for HRM. And then why Heriot-Watt? Now we have the Edinburgh Business School. We are in the heart of Edinburgh, so we have a beautiful campus. We have the student life that I will promote and then give you more heads up, and facilities, accommodations, and then our ranking. So why MSc Human Resources in Heriot-Watt? So our program is accredited by CIPD. So this is really important because at the end, you will be able to follow all the requirements and registrations that this chartered is required. And then we are aligned with them. We work with events and then programs, and then lots of the content and then knowledge is taking into account the CIPD framework, okay? So we developed your skills in terms of employment law, in terms of sustainable HRM, in terms of strategy, and of course, AI and digitalization of HRM. Our curriculum is centered in the bottom of our curriculum. It's about employability and professional career readiness, okay? You will be able to see lots of standards, lots of frameworks, and then be part of these networks in terms of CIPD. So the learnout objectives that we will complete and when you finish this program would be the analysis that you'll be able to analyze the market and then the knowledge creation in terms of the challenges that exist in HRM, that you have lots. And then we needed to, you'll be able to demonstrate the understanding of the professional practice and challenge. You assess lots of others frameworks to understand the problems related in human resources management. And also you evaluate the market internationally and then nationally in terms of social responsible and then sustainable HRM responsible. Also, you will see the theories, the principles, the concepts that underpinning this context, and then the wicked problem that exists. Also, to apply professional values, that it's really important in terms of operations and diversity. Okay, so move on. We have here the program structure. We have so 2 intakes over a year. We have in September and January. So in September, if you started now, you have the 4 courses that you take, mandatories, all of them, and then you need to move on to January the next semester. If you enter in January, you will start with the same group that have started in September. So you will have the 3 mandatory courses. The aim means mandatory, and then 2 optionals. You need to choose one on another. We have 2 options for you, that it's managing diversity in business or psychology of leadership. You can choose one on another. So in May, you will start your dissertation in HRM. So then this is a project-based desk. So you need to make sure that we will give you all the details when you start your project dissertation. So you have a program that you can start in a full-time over a year or part-time over 2 years. If you decide to go to the part-time elements, you have 2 modules or courses over each semesters, and then you have the dissertation at the end, okay? So it is an interactive process. The dissertation here is a project that it's aligned with CIPD as well, requirements where you need to reflect on practical aspects and then in your theory that you have been learned during your program. Great. And then if you have any questions about how can apply or which kind of assessments it's over the program itself, so let me know at the end, because we have the questions and answers. So, and then I'm happy to take over all the questions. And then we have here our guest speaker, that is Marzena. So I will give her the time to work around the challenges that exist in HRM. So there are lots of landscapes that you need to understand in terms of upskilling, reskilling. And then we prepared questions for you guys, and then for Marzena to navigate it in terms of what the challenge exists. So, and then here, maybe you can be inspired to understand more in terms of HRM, in terms of job transformations that we have so far at the moment in HRM, in terms of skills for the future, what do you need to know? In terms of impact, what expected in terms of workforce and structure, in terms of dynamics, in terms of strategy, and then in terms of risk that exists. And then, of course, we will cover AI. So Marzena is the specialist on that, and then I will give her the floor to introduce herself and then give the heads up of these answers, Marzena. It's up to now, it's your time.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you very much for the introduction. It's a pleasure to be here with Anna and all of you who are listening to us. My name is Marzena D'Arcy. I'm an owner of a local to Edinburgh HR consultancy. I work with the businesses across the UK and the sort of wider geographic cover. I'm also a fractional head of HR for Capricorn Energy, which is an oil and gas company. And recently I joined our Edinburgh CIPD branch as a co-vice chair. So what I will be talking to you about today is why HR is the future, I guess, for shaping the landscape or how the organizations operate, and how it's a pivotal role to ensure the success of the transformation that most of the businesses will see in the next 5 to 10 years. So can I have next slide, please? Yeah, one before, please. So the World Economic Forum, they predict that the broadening of digital access is expected to be the most transformative trend. Over 60% employers are expecting to transform their businesses in the next 5 to 10 years. And that will obviously fuel demand for technology-related skills. So that includes AI and big data, networks and cybersecurity, and people who are technologically literate. I mean, they're anticipated to have the top 3 fastest growing skills across the workforce. We also see a demographic shift. We've seen that for the past number of years of aging population and declining working age population. So that's predominantly in the higher income economies and the expanding working age populations that's predominantly in lower income economies. So these trends will no doubtly increase demand in skills for talent management, teaching, mentoring, motivation, and self-awareness. There is a lot of talk in HR industry about the expected skill set to be transformed and what we have at the moment to be outdated in the next 5 to 10 years. Some of the skills that are still gonna be in demand, I mean, we all trying to sort of predict the future. So what I'm discussing is to our best knowledge, I guess, you know, based on the research available and some conversations that we have with number of different leaders across the sector and HR profession. There is a lot of talk about analytical skills and analytical thinking, resilience, flexibility, agility, along with leadership and social influence. There's also talk about supporting employee health and well-being, which is expected to be a top focus for talent attraction for most of the organizations. So skills like emotional intelligence, ability to collaborate within a team and across functions, and critical thinking are the most relevant skills for the future workforce. So I guess, you know, how does it relate to HR profession? I think that it's a core of what we do as HR professionals, not only from a training and development angle. So it would fall within the HR remit to have the conversations with the leaders in the organization about what the skill set of your company will look like in the near future, and making sure that whatever gaps you have in the organization are addressed appropriately and ahead of time. So in terms, you know, of adaptability and flexibility, a couple of skills that are quoted as the most important one in the future of workforce. This is not new. And if we go back to the slide we had before, Anna, thank you very much. When I was in my early 20s, I never predicted that my career is going to be in HR. So at the time I was studying finance and accounting, and I thought that that's something that I will be doing in the future. But in my first job, again, you know, it's very circumstantial. I was given an opportunity to get involved in some people tasks, and it sparked my interest. So that's how I started. I enrolled into HR postgraduate degree, which I studied part-time while I was working. And when I graduated, I got my first proper HR job. And I think one thing I did very well throughout my career is to have courage to put myself for any opportunity that came my way. So I tried things, I failed many times, I learned from my failures, I repeated the tasks, and that's how I build my experience and I guess confidence in what I'm doing at the moment. And I think university is a perfect ground for all of you to test and to experiment, to absorb knowledge. But most importantly, in the world where there is almost too much information, the university is teaching you to think for yourself. And if you use your time well, it teaches you about yourself. And in my opinion, this is the most important skill for any professional and any future leader, the self-awareness. So if we can skip to the next slide, please. So this is just to recap. The HR professionals will add value not only by being the role models for some of these people skills, but also by working with other professionals in the organizations to develop their interpersonal skills, critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence, adaptability, flexibility, and the critical thinking, and most importantly, the self-awareness. Effective reskilling and upskilling initiatives, along with improving talent progression and promotion, are seen as holding high potential for talent attractions. So reskilling and upskilling are seen the two most welcomed public policies to boost talent availability. There is a lot of talk about importance, I guess, across, sectors and organizations of HR taking the driving seat in the automation, artificial intelligence, and adopting some of these technologies in the organizations, but also in thinking ahead of what the future of the workforce will look like and how we prepare our companies to what the future holds. Can I have the next slide, please? So I just want to sort of wrap it up right now in terms of the HR program and what value, I guess, it brings to you. So there's a lot what I talk about in terms of the strategic input, in terms of leadership development, in terms of staying in the driving seat on the technology transformation that, whether we like it or not, it's happening as we speak. And I think the university and the program that Anna is leading will put you in the best place to have the conversations, have the knowledge, have access to the top professionals in the academic, but also in a practical world of, adapting some of these solutions. So some of the lectures that Anna talked about, they give you in-depth knowledge of digital human resources management, strategy development, and how HR can influence, I guess, the business strategy and work with the leaders across the organizations that you will support in the future to make sure that the people agenda stays, at the heart, I guess, of their business operations. The leadership psychology, so all the sort of soft skills that we were talking about, but in the same understanding how people work together and how to create the culture in the organization with your leaders to ensure that you operate with what we call high-performing teams or organizations. And lastly, it's quite important, I guess, understanding what's happening out there, understanding the trends and understanding the bigger picture of where well, your future organizations work and how the external context affects the operations of what you and your organization does. Thank you.
So thank you, Marzena. I think it was an inspired talk in terms of the challenge and then your journey between, in another career, and then you moved to HRM, and then you did your master's degree as well. So I think this is a good scenario to see that it's important to upskills, and then it's important to make sure that you choose the right program on the right time to make sure that you received what you needed. Yes, as you can see, Marzena and I, we are working in so many areas together. I think it's good to that the program, when you select it, you can see not just knowledge, but practical application. And then this is that we always interact with students. Why we are thinking about that digital HRM, it's important as a course. So because we needed some audit and maybe some analytical process to understand in practical experience, as Marzena have said. And then if you are join us, you will see more about Marzena in our program, because she always develops some content and then be able to share experiences in real time about her own businesses, but also for the others' business that she is working together. Yes, thank you, Marzena. It was fantastic. I really appreciate your input, and then it was so inspirational to see how the critical analysis, and then how we can understand more in a practical way why needs to do some upskills in terms of choose another master's degree to become a good professional. Great. Thank you. So, but keep with me, stay with me, Marzena, because we have lots of maybe questions at the end, and then you can navigate with me in these questions. So why Heriot-Watt in Edinburgh Business School? Maybe you have lots of opportunities outside, but I just wanted to give you the heads up in terms of why the importance that we are in Edinburgh Business School. We are the global leader in accessibility in practical-oriented education. As you can see, we always work with industry and then research projects that we promote responsible business. We are signature in Prime as well, so that it's important to see the principles of responsible managers. So we have a campus in the UK, in Dubai, Malaysia. When you join our university, you'll be able to see the global network. It's not just in UK. So then doing that, we can empower you to understand about diversity, inclusivity, that be able to see community, not just local, but global. And then you became a global student in terms of societies, in terms of pressure challenges that exist. So we are, as you can see, the international outlook, but also we serve more than 14,000 students over 130 countries. So we have 49,000 alumni across 158 countries. So we are rotated in responsible managers, responsible leaders. And then this is really important to link with sustainability, that it's one of my fields, my main area. We have the inclusivity in terms of diversity, in terms of equal rights, and then we have the teaching that drive real world impact. As you can see, we have always some experiences in terms of the challenge, the wicked problem that exists in our business settings at the moment. And then we hope to be able to give you the capability to innovate, to build up the knowledge, to help your organization, to be the catalyst in the area that you are working. And then also we are working with supply chain management, sustainable capitalism, we have the industrial decarbonization. All these areas needed the area of HRM. So, and then you are a HR person that can help and then can understand the other areas in the workplace inclusion. So we are strong in partnership in the industry, including the government, and then you can translate all the knowledge into practice. As you can see, we always have to, we are collaborated with other partners, global and local. So next one, it's about our mission and vision. So as you can see here, the photo, it's our dean, Professor Angus Lang. So he is very committed in terms of this mission and vision and beliefs that we need to tackle. It's not just internal, but it needs to be translated in a curriculum and then outside of our environment. So as you can see, our mission is to be a global leader in accessible, practice-oriented education research that promotes responsible business. When you do your dissertation, your project-based, if you are still working in some organizations or if you are want to do some projects inside of what you are doing, it would be fantastic to see that how the recommendations can come true in terms of the topic that you selected, and maybe you can promote more the improvements or the performance within the organization. But if you are not working at the moment, but you have some experience, and then you want to investigate some topics that it's really important, that you can see that you can innovate the way to go in the organization, that it could be really great for you in your future in terms of choose the right job and then promote yourself in this research path that you have done so far in your dissertation. So the vision, we transform lives and organizations for the betterment of the society globally. So we are committed not just to be able to see ourselves, but others as well. And then in our beliefs, we need to improve the world in terms of translating the knowledge into practice, in terms of connect across disciplines. As you can see, we have the supply chains, we have the innovation, sustainability, and then we need to we are able to do lots of programs online as well. So this program, it's on campus, but you maybe be able to come here just twice a week. It's not a fully week covered. So that this is another best point that I needed to say for you guys. So the inclusivity in terms of partnerships and people that we needed to think about in terms of talent. We have the destination of choice here that for academics and then for students, for staff, that we are the good one. Great. So Edinburgh campus, what we can offer. We are the leading in terms of AI, that it came from Deloitte research recently in 2025. We are in the second on the ranking in terms of the friendly city. We have a beautiful campus. If you didn't have the opportunity to visit us, please come along. We have a beautiful places and then buildings around. We are 24/7 in public transportation to the city center. So we have the bus stop inside of our campus. We are just 3 miles from Edinburgh International Airport. That it's another good one that you can plan ahead of your journeys. So we have the green landscape that it's beautiful. Walking trails, fitness circles. So we have the wide file. So we have more than 30 miles of canal and cycle paths that you can cycle as well to the university. And then we have the Paintland Hills that it's beautiful to hiking. So please come along, visit us. If you wanted to make online or even in person to visit and meet me, please let me know. And then we are in an exceptional environment, and then one of Europe's the most beautiful and exciting cities. So if you are international, Edinburgh could be a destination for you. In terms of student life, we are truly involved in terms of student. Student for us is the center of everything here. And then we decided to make sure that you will be able to be part of the community, not just in terms of writing, academic skills, in terms of events, in terms of guest speakers, but also for your life, for your balance in terms of doing extra things that you want to. So, and then you have the student union, you have sports clubs, society, you have the economist, society, students' interests, music, that it we have lots of engagement of music centers. We have international groups, we have spiritual well-being resources. So all of them you can be able to join and then be able to see our facilities, okay? So, and then talk about facilities. We have more than just sports because we have a big Orion that it's a big facility for sports and then everything that you need in terms of well-being. But also we have accommodations that it's a guarantee first year in terms of accommodation for you guys that you come along for a year in the master's degree if you come internationally. So we can offer. We have the residence life team 24 hours as well. We have the home to Orion that I said, it's the premier sports center. It's a beautiful building, coupled with all the sports that you needed if you want. So, and then we have the bank, we have shoppings around the campus, we have medical and dental practice inside of our campus. We have the chaplaincy and then muslin prayer rooms, and then you have the music, as I said before. Okay, museum, robotics, so we have lots of to see around. Living here, it's a kind of vibrant community. We can understand that you needed more than just study, that it's making you life easy and then make friends. It's really important, okay? So the ranking, we are the first in Scotland for industry, international partnerships and citations per faculty. We are in the ranking of Scottish University in terms of CEOs and managing directors in 2023. We are in the National Student Survey in 24. We got 75% overall score across Scotland. That it was a fantastic achievement for us. And then we are in the top in Scotland for ethical investments and people in planet. So this is came from the University League table. Okay, so we always are constantly look at the ranking process. Why? It's not just because we wanted to be the first, but we wanted to provide alignment with quality standards, with the provide that we are working to give you the best knowledge, the best quality that you can have, okay? So business management, what in your program, in the MSc HRM, you are based in this business management sector, if you wish, because you have the logistic and operations management and you have account and finance. So you will share some students will share some courses that you take with us in our business management degree, but you will be able to share experiences with them. That it's a fantastic networking. During the time that you're doing, for example, the digital in HRM, other students from other programs will join you in this course, and then you can share the experience from management, from leadership, and then others from accounting, from finance, or maybe operations or marketing. So this is shape the network and then the discussion in class in a much more real case scenario, okay? Industry relevant skills, our curriculum shaped by industry advisory boards that we always ask recommendations, ask for more inputs in terms of what the industry needs to feed them in terms of the curriculum knowledge that we are trying to give for students, okay? The dynamic learning, we have a mix of lectures, tutorials, seminars, workshops, guest speakers, and case studies. So it's lots about to share others elements in terms of the learning, okay? The specialization, so in the HRM, you have lots of to specialized in terms of employment law, in terms of the digital, in terms of sustainable HRM. So, and then we have like specialists in terms of that courses and real world success. So when you start a business or your partner, the EBS's business enterprise can help you, the incubator, to boost your idea. If you have any idea, how can you start up your organizations or enterprise or ideas that you think that it's important, you'll be able to work together with EBS Business Incubator, and then they can give you some orientations in terms of funding applications, in terms of how to start, or how can you navigate in this idea that you have so far. Why EBS, Edinburgh Business School, and then in terms of employability edge. So we have the campus, we have the accommodation that it's one of the best that we can offer, but also we can offer the foundation. When you finish your program, you really want to have a job, because this is that our desire. See you in your career. We want you to finish this program and be able to navigate in your dreams, that it's a good future for you and in terms of get the job that you want. So, and then we have the employability age, that we produce professionalizing leaders to make a difference. We are in the first in Scotland and the second in UK in the ranking of 84% of our graduates in full-time employment are in this, be able to get the first job. And then we have the more than CEOs and managing directors over when they finish the program, they have always navigating these areas, okay? So we deliver an accessible and practice-oriented business education. Our networking can facilitate you to navigate in now new opportunities that you can see. And then we have guest lectures. Guest lectures means is not just come along and then talk about the practical, but give you solutions, give you the way that how you can promote yourself, how can you sell yourself, how can you apply for jobs. So it's lots of tips and hints that we have so far when you join our program. And then workshops that always we have in our curriculum, okay? So we have the students that it's embedded in Global Incubator. If you have one idea, so you can promote, as I said before. And then we have the prize that you can receive from Global Innovation Challenge. When you submit your idea, when you submit your best innovation, you may be able to win a funding. And then this came from the consultancy bootcamp, that it's a good foundation for you. Great. So we connected the students with employers. Always we do this connection to make sure that the opportunity is available. And then we also help you in terms of CVs, in terms of assessment centers that can help you in terms of applications, in terms of tests. As you know, in special for HR, we have lots of movement around the digital skills that you needed to, how can you present yourself in a meeting online, how can you do the etiquette, so how can you promote and test your knowledge through the digital, the video or whatever. And then we are part of the global community, as I said before. And then we have the dynamic in terms of partnerships, in terms of alumni, in terms of all the other sectors that it's will be able to see. So I go to the end of this presentation, and then I invited Marzena and then Gary to say if to share and then to navigate in terms of questions and answers. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Anna. Really appreciate that as well. So we have had a few questions come in, and I'm going to get through them one by one. A few of these have come through from social media quickly. So, to begin with, it's the AI question. It seems to be a hot topic for every program these days because of how prevalent it is within our lives now. But the question is what role do you see AI playing in HR decision making, and how should I prepare for this shift in a future career? This student says.
Okay, I will start first, and then I will give Marzena the practical knowledge in terms of that. So I think the momentum now that we have so far is to understand how AI can be able to support us in our daily basis. So we have lots to understand the AI in terms of prompt questions, and then to answer the right question, we need to understand how we can ask questions. And then I think the most important is the information that we receive it. So we need to judge which kind of information that really important for us to make the judgment or decision making. So one of the research that I did recently was about we can have the AI as a creator, as a tool to navigate. But we always need the judgment. We needed to understand the knowledge behind what we have asked, the content that we received, and then how can apply that. And then because of this, AI, it's became a hot topic that we needed to understand, and then you needed to see behind the scenes, and then make sure that we navigate in AI, especially in HRM, that we have lots to discuss in a good and then an ethical way. So, Marzena.
Yeah, I totally agree with Anna. I mean, it's a bigger debate, I guess, in terms of the ethical aspects and consciousness of AI. I guess, the difficulty that we have at the moment, we only know what we know now. And with the speed of the technology advancing, we know for sure that what we know today is gonna be a very different plate in 1, 2, 3 years time. So we're not talking about a huge time frame, I guess. We're talking about the next, well, possibly 5 to 10 years of, of the workforce changing and adapting. But from the HR profession itself, I guess, it's not going to be any different to if you were working in marketing or finance or procurement or any other functions in the organization. All these processes that are repetitive, that require you to analyze a large amount of data. These are probably the processes that we will see using, the AI and automation first. So if you think about payroll processing, if you're thinking about reporting in HR, so analyzing, any data for absence, diversity, I mean, name it, whatever reporting the organizations do, something that used to take me a couple of days to analyze in Excel, you will be able to do in a couple of minutes. And I think that's great, because as much as, well, we all enjoy creating pivot tables, and getting, dirty with Excel. I think our time in HR can be spent on adding value in a different way by engaging with managers, engaging with leaders, having effective conversations, working with businesses, on upskilling, on the soft skills, something, delivering workshops, delivering training, and supporting the organization in the much more meaningful way. So I think actually the AI, if used appropriately and if used to the best advantage, it's a great opportunity for any function, but especially in HR. So it's not something that I'm scared of. I'm actually quite excited to see where the world is going, and I think for you guys just sort of getting into, well, education or sort of trying to get your first jobs, because, well, I would imagine majority of you grew up during the time when technology is already embedded in your life from very early age. You already have a competitive advantage, you know, over some of us who have been around for 15, 20 years. So I think the floor is yours, guys, you know, and it's a great opportunity for all of you to add a lot of value to future employers. And Edinburgh is the best place to be in terms of the innovation and startups, and there's so much happening in the technology space in our city. And then despite, you know, well, me being very jealous, you know, of the campus life, something, you know, that I don't think, you know, I will experience ever again student life, but it's, you know, for the employment prospects, Edinburgh is a good place to be as well.
I think the main takeaway from that, and I'm sure you'll agree, is the speed in which AI is evolving, because even 5 years ago, some of these AI platforms were almost unheard of, unused. It's an untapped market, really. And people saw it as cheating almost, and, you know, kind of beating the system. Now it is being used in courtrooms all over the world. It's being used in solicitor firms. It's being used in all forms of life. So use it to aid you. Anna, if I can just move to the CIPD part, one of the questions that's come in is, what makes the CIPD accreditation particularly valuable for anyone that is graduating and then finishes? Again, I'll go back to the whole AI thing, in that, should you use AI to help you to gain that accreditation? And if it does, are you being true to yourself?
Okay, thank you. I think it's a good question. Why we are accredited? So the CIPD, the Chartered Institute, you know, of Professional Development, it has some frameworks that we need to work to help you in your career. It's not just in terms of your program itself, it's about your career. And then the standards, the quality standards that we work together. So to be a manager, to be an employer, to be a policymaker, or help you to be better now in the place that you are working, it's important that you be part of this networking element as well. So Marzena working in CIPD, so she's one of the trust of the process. And then I think the outstanding in terms of recognition, that when you say that your program is accredited by CIPD, you can say that your program and then what you have received, it's aligned with the professional development and continuous improvement. It's not just a part of the courses itself. It's about the continuing development and then continuing professional development standards. And then I think when you go to the employability side, so you can see that when you provide a program that been certificated by, you will be able to join in the list of the top rather than to be in the middle or in the bottom, because the industry recognize the standards, and then how the students be able to see the standards of the continuing professional development in a good manner for them to hire and then contract the students. So we have all the support in terms of workforce and then in terms of what you need, because when you join the program, you'll be able to join as an associate member of CIPD. and then you will be able to become part of these perspectives that you receive with the news, interactions, you will receive events, you receive the informations that prove what kind of the challenge and what you needed to speed up in terms of your work environment. You receive the discount, memberships discount, you receive the learning development courses. You will be able to see lots of behind the scenes. It's not just about the quality of standards element in program, but also how you can go beyond that. And then I will pass to Marzena. I think Marzena has more to say.
I mean, yeah, you summarized it really well, Anna. You know, from my perspective, I guess, you know, I think the most value that you get out of the CIPD accreditation is the fact that still, I would say, well, 70% of more jobs are being advertised in the HR space. Most of the employers will be asking for some sort of CIPD accreditation. In the UK, especially, it's still a sort of stamp of standard, I guess, in the HR profession. So when you conclude your course and when you're ready to sort of enter the employment market, it's something that will definitely help you to secure well, HR opportunities, well, especially in the UK. But I know that HR that CIPD communities is big, you know, in countries outside of the UK, and it's probably one of the biggest HR bodies in the world in terms, you know, of the members and the activities and all the work that CIPD do to well ensure the HR standards are sort of consistent across different jurisdictions.
Excellent. Anna, if I can just get you to have the final word in terms of admissions, when students can expect to apply for, presumably you're looking for September 2025. Does that stretch on to 2026? And likewise, do you do January intakes? If we just wrap up with that, and then we'll allow students to get on with their day.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so if you wanted to apply, we have time to do that. So you just needed to go in application site in the website of the Heriot-Watt, and then you can choose if you want to apply for now, September, or for January. So if you apply now for September, I think the final application will be in August at some point. So then you still have time from now until August to finalize all your documentation, things that you need to submit. So I think from this conversation here, you receive some discount if you participated here. So you needed to provide the code and then everything. So then you'll be able to see this reflected in your final fees. And then if you need, you may need to provide some like job experience that you have been working so far. So if you have any questions about that, you just need to send your CV, and then the CV will come to me, and then I will check if everything is fine. And then if you need more evidence, I will ask you to provide, or maybe we can have an interview together. So things that we can facilitate it and to be flexible for you to navigate in the process of application. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you. Anna and Marzena, thank you for your time so much. If anyone's watching on demand and has any questions, is not sure in anything, like I mentioned earlier, webinars at postgradsolutions.com or study with us at hw.ac.uk is where you can pop the questions over to. There have been some questions asked in advance to the session about funding and scholarship. Those questions will be forwarded over to the admissions team at Heriot-Watt and to Anna likewise as well. But Marzena and Anna, thank you for your time. Really appreciate that. We look forward to seeing you again at some point through 2025, if not 2026. We wish you a very nice summer and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.